Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is my very long-awaited medical update for 2020. This year has been insane to say the least. So in this video, I will finally be giving you guys a medical update. It's very hard for me to talk about. I have a ton of PTSD and it's just a hard subject for me, but I'll get through as much as I can and eventually I'll be able to share my whole journey with you guys one day. So bear with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your patience. I am officially back on YouTube once you guys see this video. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button, give this video a big like, and turn on your post notifications so you will be notified when I upload a new video. Okay, so as most of you know, I'm a triplet. I was born 3 months early. I only weighed 2 pounds. I would always turn blue. Fluid from my stomach would get into my lungs and then I would stop breathing. So I had to get surgery when I was a baby twice to fix that. When I was 2, I had a tumor in the side of my neck and that got removed. I've pretty much always had pain, but it wasn't until I was about 6 years old that I started feeling a lot of pain, and that was mostly in my stomach and in my head. So we went all over the country and I got misdiagnosed for a while. So we went to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota and I got diagnosed with my first disease, which is called eosinophilic esophagitis. I have a feeding tube and I used that because of this disease. When I got my feeding tube, I couldn't eat or drink anything because of all the damage it had done to my esophagus and to my stomach. So I was just getting nutrition through my feeding tube, but right now I have so much damage because it just keeps getting worse over time. So right now I can barely eat or drink anything and it's really hard for me to get anything through my feeding tube. So I'm just trying to get fluids through my feeding tube even though it's painful. After I got diagnosed with EE, I got my feeding tube 4 years later when I was 10, and then I noticed that I started having more pain. I couldn't really explain the pain. It was just kind of like all over. I still had the head pain too, so we decided to go back to the Mayo Clinic because again we tried going to all the doctors in our area and no one could figure me out. So I got diagnosed with my second disease called visceral hypersensitivity, and this disease is just basically where all of the nerves in my entire body are just firing at each other. They're just inflamed and I have a lot of nerve pain from head to toe. My third disease is called POTS, or autonomic dysfunction, and basically my entire nervous system doesn't work and that controls a lot of things. I'm at risk for passing out and having a stroke. That one's hard. I have to constantly stay hydrated or I'll pass out. We went to a specialist once I got diagnosed with POTS at the Mayo Clinic. We thought that we could get rid of my headaches. Unfortunately, I still had pain going on, so I just tried to do what I could to manage the diseases that I had been diagnosed with. In 2016 is where my health really started declining. It got progressively worse really fast, and I was in the hospital a lot of 2016. I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. At this point, when I was in the hospital, I couldn't eat or drink anything. I was too sick. I was just really weak. I had to get a PICC line and they had to do nutrition through the PICC line, which went to my heart. But the nutrition they gave me through the PICC line made me so sick, even though it was just going through my veins. So I got discharged from the hospital. I was trying to manage type 1 diabetes, and also I was just trying to figure out what I could eat or drink to get nutrition without it making me super sick. So that was a hard balance, and honestly it still is to this day. It's a struggle. I don't ever have an appetite. I am always nauseous, always have a headache, so it's really hard for me to eat or drink. A lot of people ask me why I eat sometimes if I have a feeding tube. It is kind of hard to explain. Right now it's a lot more painful for me to get nutrition through my feeding tube than it is to just eat softer foods. So I choose to just eat foods that won't cause more damage to my esophagus and stomach. And right now what I'm using my feeding tube for is for fluids to stay hydrated, and I use it for medicine as well. A little bit after I got discharged from the hospital, I got some blood work taken, and we saw that I was having a whole lot of issues with my kidneys, pretty much all of my organs. I actually got diagnosed with a bleeding disorder and a clotting disorder. My organs were just starting to shut down, and at the same time I was also diagnosed with endometriosis and PCOS, and these are related to my cycles. So I ended up in the hospital because I kept having kidney issues and I just wasn't getting any better. I was just getting worse. We saw that when I got blood taken that my adrenal gland wasn't acting right at all. I had a bunch of other levels that were off too. But I ended up in the hospital. It turns out that my adrenal gland just quit working. I don't produce any cortisol. When I got to the hospital, my cortisol level was 0.5, and I believe it's supposed to be around 10, and I almost died, and that was really scary. At that same time, I also had to get my feeding tube moved from my stomach into my intestines to kind of bypass my stomach and give it a break, but my body rejected it. The feeding tube was too big. They didn't know what they were doing. They ended up ripping my stomach, so that was really painful. Because my adrenal gland just quit working, I have to take steroids, unfortunately. I have to take them to stay alive. If I don't take them, then I'll die. It really stinks because the steroids make me gain weight. Next disease is called EDS. It stands for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and this is my main disease. It is a connective tissue disorder, and this is a devastating diagnosis, especially if you have it to my extreme. Some of my family members have it, but they aren't affected by it the way I am. All of the connective tissue that holds your organs together, it's like the glue for your body. They're not being held together really by anything. And at first I thought I was gonna get better from my brain and spine surgeries, but little did I know that I had to get those just to survive, and they're not a fix for what's going on. Unfortunately, with the surgeries I had to get, they have caused a lot of complications. I can't really eat or drink anything anymore. It's very painful for me to get fluids through my feeding tube, and I'm unstable now, even lower, and my neurosurgeon actually isn't doing any more surgeries now, so I'm just gonna have to try to push through the pain and live each day to the best, because I don't know when my time will come. I mean, it'll come when it comes. God has a plan for everyone, but yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy every moment. When my neurosurgeon first diagnosed me with the connective tissue disorder, we had a video call, and he also diagnosed me with Chiari malformation, which is where your brain and your neck rub and compress on each other. And he also diagnosed me with cervical cranial instability, which is the part where my neck could snap, and that's the instability. So I had my brain surgery in 2018, and at the bottom of the incision, from there all the way to my tailbone, it's really unstable and it's causing a lot of pain. I thought after these surgeries I was gonna get better, but I've unfortunately learned the hard way that with EDS and all of my other diseases I have, I'm not gonna get better, and I just have to try to come up with a way to live my new form of life. Since everything is pressing down, I have a lot of like rubbing going on where my head and neck meet, and I have a lot of compression, and there's actually a bone in the back of my head that pokes forward, and I was supposed to get that removed, but like I said, my body can't handle going through surgeries anymore. After those brain surgeries, I wasn't healing, and that's because my body wasn't producing cortisol, and we didn't know it at the time, but that was why it was taking me so long to heal. From the fusion, which is the brain surgery I had, there were complications, and they have gotten worse over time because of EDS. When I had my brain surgery, when they lifted my head up into the right position, 2 bones got trapped in the side, and that's called Eagle syndrome. And when the bones poke in, they poke in whenever I move my neck. It causes really high pressure in my brain, and it causes this awful like electric shock bolting type of pain. After I got my fusion, he diagnosed me with mast cell activation disorder, and that is another disease that has to do with my stomach, and I have a lot of reactions. Like, I'm allergic to the steroids that I have to take. I have to take Benadryl all the time for all of my mast cell reactions. So we ended up going back to New York to meet with my neurosurgeon. He diagnosed me with Eagle syndrome, which is those bones poking in, and he said that I have high pressure in my brain, and he also said that I have tethered cord, but it's basically where your spine stretches out and it almost gets in a little knot and stuck to the side of your spine. So he diagnosed me with that while we were in New York for the second time. And he also diagnosed me with a disease called MALS, M-A-L-S. And so basically the main artery off of my heart that supplies blood to my stomach doesn't work. So this is why I get so sick when I even just get IV fluids, when I get fluids through my feeding tube. What it is basically the connective tissue can't support my diaphragm, so my diaphragm's sitting lower. When we were in New York for the second time, when I got diagnosed with a bunch of new diseases, we decided that we were going to wait as long as possible to do my tethered cord spine surgery because I wasn't healed enough yet from my brain surgeries. So we went back home, and I just kept getting worse, but I just tried to wait as long as I could to get the surgery, and then I finally got the surgery in July of 2019, and I had so many complications with this surgery. When they only got 1 IV and wheeled me back for surgery, and during surgery my IV blew and they couldn't get another one in, so I started waking up and I was intubated when I woke up, and I was in so much pain from the surgery. So that was very traumatic, and that's something that I still have to deal with every day. Just reliving that is just so hard. So after I got the spine surgery, my bladder almost burst and I had a ton of complications. I did a video on my spine surgeries as well, but I ended up needing to get the spine surgery redone because my incision wouldn't stay closed, and the cold weather is just hurting it so much. Hopefully I don't have that spine issue again right now, but I'm having the exact same pain that I did before before the surgeries. I'm just having all the same symptoms, so that's kind of disappointing because it's really affecting me right now. So after I had my spine surgeries, I was just recovering, and then recently I got scans done because I've been in so much more pain than I should be. My spine is just hurting so much, and same with lower in my neck. So I got scans done and sent them to my neurosurgeon, and I have instability all throughout my entire rest of my neck and spine. They initially wanted to do another fusion, but I can't go through that. I wouldn't make it through the surgery. And they also found that I have something going on with my back on the right side. They couldn't quite figure out what it is though, but I've been having a lot more pain, and it's really hard. It's just frustrating that I'm having the same symptoms that I had before my major surgeries, because it's like, what was the point of the surgery then? I mean, I didn't have a choice. I would have died if I didn't get those surgeries, but now I probably need those same surgeries again because there's a chance that those complications can come back after surgery. We had a video call with my neurosurgeon, and he said that I have instability in my spine, like I was saying, and he saw that I had instability, and he noticed that I had the bones that are poking in, causing high pressure in my brain, and he initially wanted to remove them, but I would not make it through those surgeries, and he stopped doing surgeries. I was pretty bummed out because my neurosurgeon, everything he recommended I've already done or have been doing, so there isn't a cure for any of this, and unfortunately over time I'm going to get worse. No one knows how much time they have left. That's why I'm just enjoying every day as much as I can, and I'm trying really hard to be positive, but it's hard for me to fake a smile sometimes, and that's why I haven't been uploading as much, because I don't want to put out negative energy and make you guys feel down. I want you guys to be able to come to my channel, laugh. This has been the hardest part for me, but it's just trying to accept my new form of life and just trying to adapt to all my pain, just trying to figure out how I can make it through each day. To be honest, I've been in a really bad headspace, and that's a big part of why I wasn't uploading. I just have not had a very good time lately. I've been in a lot more pain, and I've just been frustrated. Like, I feel like it's all hitting me now, and I'm realizing that, oh shoot, like I'm gonna be like this for the rest of my life, and it's just gonna get worse. I'm trying to make the most out of each day, and that's all I can do. Yeah, pretty much the update is that my brain surgeries I now need lower. I'm having my spine issues again. It's the same issues that I got the surgeries for, the tethered cord. I'm too sick right now to really eat or drink. I'm trying to get fluids through my feeding tube. God has a plan for me, and I may not know why right now, but yeah, I really hope that 2021 is going to be a better year for everyone, and I hope that I can feel a little bit better. I don't remember the last time I had a pain-free day. All your positive comments, it just lifts me up, and it makes me feel like I have a purpose, and it gives me motivation to keep fighting. So I really appreciate all of your support. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to my channel, turn the notification bell on. So I'm going to try to enjoy Christmas because I'm finally home for the holidays with my family. I'm not away from them on medical trips this time or getting surgeries, so I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me, and I will see you in my next videos. Bye!
I'll be the one if you want me to. Anywhere I would have followed you. Say something, I'm giving up on you. And I am feeling so small. It was over my head. I know nothing at all.